Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 778. I'm your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Scott. What's up, Scott?
I love my lovely hair.
Okay, so this podcast is going to be completely about Suicide Squad, the way everybody's reporting the box office, and Ghostbusters, okay? And this is all going to make sense once I get into it. Basically, we had a site called Batman-News.com that I reported on August 14th that the Suicide Squad had crossed over $500 million, okay? And saying how great it's doing, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. Now, I don't want to go into the things of the article. What I started telling everybody recently, too, is that once somebody does an article, everybody starts copying the article. So we got we got Collider. What's up, James? We got Collider reporting it. We got Comic Book Resources. We got Variety. We got Deadline. We got Comic Book Coming Soon. Forbes, Screenlands, comicbook.com. Everybody and their mother is reporting that Suicide Squad is over $500 million. Some are reporting it as early as August 14th. Most of them are doing it on 8/18. It is now 8/20, August 20th, okay? And I just want to show you my point, okay? My point is that when we have the box office numbers, I have it sitting in front of me, okay? And I'm going to screen share this to you, and you tell me if I'm crazy, okay? And everybody gets to see this. So if they're reporting it since August 14th that Suicide Squad worldwide has $500 million, why doesn't that show $500 million? Wouldn't it show that because it's the 20th, it would be at 550 or 600 or whatever? So
what sort of fuzzy math are they doing?
It's 409. Now listen to me. I love the Suicide Squad, okay? But what this podcast is about is to show that when certain people like a movie and they put out fake articles to push their agenda for it to do better, this is what happens, okay?
It starts affecting the movie.
Well, in the sense, they're trying to make it better, and they're not succeeding. I'm not going to say that they're lying. I'm going to say that they're not telling the truth, which is the same thing. The worldwide numbers is 490,998,335. Now, basically, if you look at it, it's been making during the week 5 million, 6 million, 4 million, 3 million. It's at 6 million as of yesterday, right?
Yeah.
So today, if you look at it, it's not going to cross 500 million today. It's probably going to cross 500 million Sunday. But they were off by a whole week, which is really horrible. And everybody else is going around, hey, man, you hear Suicide Squad did 500 million? Yeah, it's all a lie. It's not true.
No, it's not true, folks.
So they're not going to lie on these numbers.
Log on, get the Box Office Mojo, which we all do. So
I use this all the time.
You saying it's crossed over something, check that and don't report falsehoods.
And don't go talking to your friends about it unless you review the truth. I love Suicide Squad. I want it to be 500 million. But as I report the stuff over and over, I'm not going to report a lie. As much as I love the movie, as much as I like Suicide Squad, and to Jam said, I thought it was a good movie. I think it was great. But I'm not going to lie for the sake of the movie. I'm not going to say, it is 500. It's not 500 million. I know it's not 500 million since the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 20th. It's not 500 million. So
there's not enough time. I mean, yes, enough people can go see it, but there hasn't been enough people or time for it to even reach that mark yet.
Because what they're doing is they're trying to show and compare it to other movies, like it's doing phenomenal. People have stated it has to make 750 to 800 million to break even, right? So because they don't want to, they were always saying that with the Ghostbusters. It needs to do 300 to break even. It's a failure. It's a flop. It's a failure. It's a flop, right? How could they be talking about Suicide Squad when it's got to make 750, 80 to tie the budget, to tie everything, right? And then it has to make more to be success for a sequel. They're all lying in the articles saying it's getting a sequel, it's okay, it's doing great. It's not doing great. It's not doing great. It's not at 800 million. It's not at 900 million. So nobody's making a big deal. You don't see any of these people saying that Suicide Squad, an article that says it's a flop or anything, because this is what they want. They're trying to control what you go see and what you don't go see. They're trying to push the movies that they want to push and smash and destroy the movies that they don't want to make it. What's up, Connor?
Hello.
All right. So that's the thing that pisses me off, is the fact that on 8/14, they're saying that this movie is $500 million. And it is now the 20th. Okay? The friggin' 20th. 6 friggin' days later. And it's still not $500 million worldwide. So all these, and what I'm trying to teach everybody, my viewers and everything, if you want to go see a movie, go see a movie. But when it comes to people reporting stuff on these news and everything, go to the box office yourself. Don't listen to articles on Facebook about this is doing this, because half these articles are lies. They're not telling the truth. They're not. This is not a $500 million movie. Connor, these people have been reporting since August 14th, right, that this movie crossed over $500 million. In fact, they said it was $509 million on the 14th, right, which would make it probably $600 million right now, okay? Like a whole week's worth of box office, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe close to 600, right? Totally lying. Totally. And it's from the effect. And the reason why we all know this, Connor knows it, Scott knows it, James knows it, I know it, all of us real Whovians know it, is because this is done to us with Doctor Who, with people copying articles and adding and twisting words because it's a slow news day or whatever. It's not the truth. Okay? It's not the truth. The movie has not made. Why lie? Why do you have to lie and say that a movie's and then the worst is they go to Ghostbusters and they claimed it was a failure before while it's still out. And that's
honestly, with Ghostbusters, I still think with that one, it's people who haven't seen.
Oh, we got echo.
Okay, whatever that was about. Excuse me.
I think that was me.
Hey, we got James. What's up, James?
Yay, James is back. The myth, the legend.
We got two James from alternate realities. Look at that. Earth 1 and Earth 2.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been to the multiverse.
There you go.
But no, what I think is, for one thing, when it comes to Ghostbusters, is people who haven't seen the movie, and two, who still, they're so hard set thinking that this new movie is going to take away from the old movie, which it's not. It's not going to take anything away from the heart from the old movie. Coming from me and Jane, me and Joe, we both were saying, "Oh, geez, a remake with women. Oh God, it's going."
Right, we said this like, "Oh, come on," but we gave it a chance.
We both go see it. It's a good movie. They did a good trade-off. Part of the terminology, but they did an excellent reworking of the movie for the era. Okay, so it's not so the original cast only have cameos. Still, it works for the era.
But you know how dangerous that is? That since Ghostbusters now, they're not stopping. They're repeating, and they're trying to alter the market and get people to see what they want to see. Like, remember the movie They Live, where there was the subliminal messages, and they were trying to say, "Eat this. Go here. Spend your money here." They're literally bombarding us with like one article becomes 10 articles, becomes 15 articles. If I spent the whole day with it, I could probably list 30 articles. That's the same article. Right, Connor?
The issue with the film industry in general is that it's dominated by two things: superhero films and remakes, and neither at the moment are doing that well. I mean, Suicide Squad, for me, was a decent film. I liked it. Same with Ghostbusters. But compared to, just because they're doing so many a year, so many remakes and so many, mostly of classics as well. Like recently I heard that the Christopher Nolan film Memento, which came out at the beginning of last decade, is getting remade. I mean,
Why?
the
Why?
remaking films as soon as that, as soon to their release date as that, and that's just all that's dominating it's because they haven't got the right people in the industry anymore to create
New content.
new content, new ideas, because you've got like even the big directors like Steven Spielberg are adapting. Like I think his two new films are adaptations. Like you've got the BFG, which is of course
Big friendly. Yep.
Roald Dahl, and then you've got Ready Player One, which is another adaptation of a book. So it's like they're struggling for content now, and they're having to go back to things like Ghostbusters or the typical Marvel DC formula to create a film.
I'm surprised they made Voltron yet. Surprised they remade He-Man and Masters of the Universe.
They did remake Voltron on Netflix.
Oh,
And
I'm talking about live action. Live action.
He-Man is directed by MG. The guy did Charlie's Angels.
So another thing that's also hurting everybody is look how much it costs to go see a movie nowadays.
Exactly.
You almost have to wait. You almost have to spend 2-3 paychecks just to get in, and then 4 or 5 paychecks just to go to concessions.
Well, I got to say, the movie theater by my house, like Scott has a theater by him that's cheap. We have a theater because it's an old theater, right? We just heard recently that this other theater that we go to sometimes are making all luxurious seats, which spikes up the tickets to like $15 a ticket, where we're spending $6, right? But they don't have a lot of theaters here, like to see. They don't have all the movies here, so we have to go elsewhere. And for me to go to see a movie where it's going to, instead of me costing me $12 for me and Sharon, where it's going to cost $30.
Yeah.
And this is why I would go to the movies like 2 or 3 times a week, because I'd be like, oh, it's cheap,
Yeah.
But when it starts going to that caliber, I can't go like that often, unless, of course, I make a lot more money with the books or whatever. But half the time, I'm spending my royalty on Titans anyway.
Yeah.
But just to say that, I know I'm going to get in trouble for it. But the thing is that I would have to work that much harder just to go to a damn movie, which is horrible. Now,
which is wrong. And I know in truth, getting into a movie is cheap, and they pretty much make their money with the concessions. But that's what the moviegoers have got to understand. And I realize they need to market the movie. They got to pay this person that. But you cannot tell me that you need 3 or 4 paychecks to get a concession.
A tray like this, a little thing like this, right?
Yeah.
For pretzel bites.
Yeah.
Is $7 here that I spend. I'm like, how would we get 2? Which is crazy, right? If I were to go to the other theater, it's like $8.50 or $9 per, and it's like a little thing of like bagel bites.
Yeah.
Popcorn is $6-7. That's being kind. Soda, whatever. It's like you go like bankrupt just getting all the stuff to get in. Now, going back to this article, besides the remakes and everything, they're making fake articles. This is what the point of this podcast is. They're lying. They're flat out lying,
folks.
Because they want you. For whatever reason, the company's asking them to put whatever. They love Suicide Squad. They want Suicide Squad. They were doing anything. They're making bull crap, pulling it out of the sky. Oh, it did 509. There'll be an article today that it did 600 million or whatever. It's totally not true. And then what happens is, if they get any heat from it, they delete the freaking article.
Yeah.
Which is easy.
Or they'll come up with some comment like, "Oh, this comes from a non-reputable source,"
right?
Or somebody just happened to, and it's like, come on.
But we have experience with this because of Doctor Who stuff.
Yeah. That
they spinned one sentence into 3 paragraphs, or they did whatever. We're so used to that we're trained already now to know, right, Connor? I mean, like, literally, they've taken stories from a year ago. They twist a word, they do something, and it's a new article already. The whole thing with Matt Smith coming back and, Peter Capaldi, that was all bull crap. It was something that was said in one article, one interview, a line, and they magnified it. And they tried to throw in other stuff, like his career is doing bad, and he wants to be in Dr. Umoff and said, okay. None of that happened. So this is what pisses me off. I don't like to see, because then people are talking to me like, yeah, man, Suicide Squad, all right, it's $500 million. I'm like, no, it's not. And I'm not a hater for saying that, but it's clearly not.
Anybody with common sense can look it up on the computer.
Right. But people don't do that. So not everybody does that. Not everybody like Googles everything or Bing or Yahoo or looks like we do or has it in our bookmarks box.
Or got a Rotten Tomato.
They don't. They just go on Facebook and whatever article's there, okay. They don't even want to type anymore half the times in Google, just like blah, blah, blah. But I'm not saying everybody does. I'm not saying everybody does that, but that's the problem. Then all these people are talking with the wrong information. So in this case, as much as I like Suicide Squad, it's not there, okay? No, and it's not going to be there today. And maybe tomorrow will be, okay? But it's a week off. But how could you do the same thing to Ghostbusters Reverse, though? How could you condemn it before it's been released everywhere?
Because, like I said,
it's gender bias. It's gender bias, what it is.
I mean, let's take a look at Ghostbusters now. And I know people laugh when I talk about Ghostbusters because they say I talk about it a little too much. But if you think about all the coverage that we had for Batman vs. Superman, it was a lot more.
Folks, I'm sorry. BVS could have been a lot better.
I got the Ultimate Edition.
So much better.
All right, here we go with Ghostbusters. This now, last time they reported it, it was like now it's at $194,971,740. Okay, right? It's still now waiting for a foreign update that should come tomorrow. Okay, that hasn't changed, although it's been released in Spain, okay, and a few places, and I've added it up actually. And what I calculated is that we'll have $215 million soon, without even certain things reported in. Okay, Spain, of course, they didn't add that in yet, and because this hasn't changed in a week. Okay, it's last updated August 14th. So we have a whole week's worth of numbers that have to be added to the foreign markets. That's not added, okay? So today, we'll go right to the daily, right? Ghostbusters it made yesterday on Friday, $310,000. Today will probably be, say, $300,000 or
maybe a couple bucks more. I mean, like about 40, 50 more.
You'll see. So it's going to be $195 million tomorrow. That is a given. It will cross that. But if you add the foreign markets to it, then it will be 205 or 215. So I'm dying to
make the budget back. Need to make the budget back.
Well, that's it. They say the budget to break even is $300 million, but this is all from unreliable sources that are reporting like they know what they're talking about. If Sony announced that this is a sequel and they said it's profitable, and then all these articles are saying it's not, who are you going to believe? You're going to believe Sony? You're going to believe these articles? And then, yes, it's true sometimes movie companies lie because they say, we're going ahead with Amazing Spider-Man 3. I understand Sony did that. But bottom line is, I get the impression that all these same organizations that reported Suicide Squad to be a success, $500 million, are against the Ghostbusters, which it's a fair assessment because if you look at all the articles, they all repeat the same thing. Ghostbusters is a flop, but yet it's still making money, okay? And again, I have a problem with that. And going forward, anybody that's going to use this to go to the movies, don't use it. Just go to the movie if you want to go to the movie.
I do now. I mean,
and don't listen to any of these articles because it's all baloney, to tell you the truth.
Nice.
I still got to see Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition.
I got the Ultimate Edition right here in my hand.
Yeah, see, definitely got to see that.
Oh yeah, it's a whole lot better than a theatrical version.
I probably might like it a lot more. Yeah. Well, anybody want to say anything in closing about this topic? I mean, would you guys think Suicide Squad's going to make $600 million, $800 million?
I doubt it.
I'm sorry. I liked it, but it'll if it reaches that, it'll be maybe 2 months from now.
If it reaches $600 million, I'll be surprised.
See what they trick you. You think the Joker going to be in that movie a whole lot more than he is. Batman got more time in the movie than the Joker.
It was false advertisement. I felt they did false. Half the stuff from the trailer did not happen. And that's why that one person's suing.
Sued, yeah, which I think is kind of stupid myself.
I think it's stupid, but then it's a wake-up call because it is true. You're false advertising is something that doesn't exist. And they're doing it more and more this decade than they did the last decade. So,
and you can tell which movies they really want to pump up more than the others.
So I would be more in charge of the trailers. I would look at the trailers and make sure that content is in it before you advertise.
And a quick unrelated story. I have seen the trailer for Justice League Dark.
Yeah, I got to get that. I got to get that.
I have to say it looks quite awesome. They don't have very much sound in it other than the music, but still good.
Yeah, but I like the runes. Like the runes represent their different powers.
Oh yeah.
You got Felix Faust, Ekadron, the Demon. You got Zatanna. Oh, and my man John Constance.
Yeah.
It would be cool if they give him a series.
Played him in live action to be the voice, but that's me.
All right. Anybody want to?
One thing.
Anybody want to add anything to this article before we get off this article?
Don't believe it. Don't buy it.
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype.
Okay. Now, there is the issue of Zendaya as Mary Jane Watson.
Oh, God, really?
Now, I'm waiting for your perspective on this, James. Because
why can't she be a white girl?
Thank you.
She's a white girl. It ain't Mary Jane Gonzalez or Mary Jane Perez or something. It's Mary Jane Watson.
The last time I saw controversy about that was with the Selena movie because they had Jennifer Lopez and people bitched about how
They both Latinos, right?
So let me ask you a question. Why is it right to make Mary Jane black but not make Black Panther white or Storm white? What is this thing?
Because in the modern world, racism only works one way. That's the unfortunate truth. I mean, I've never heard anyone acknowledge the fact that sometimes people can be racist to white people.
Yeah, that's true.
So if they made an announcement tomorrow that they're making a new X-Men movie and Storm is white,
oh God,
everybody lose their shit.
Look at the controversy over
Jenny Storm.
Not that.
Well, it worked for Electro. Electro was cool.
Yeah, Electro was good.
But still, like, would the whole social media be 100% against Storm being white?
I wouldn't have a problem with it, as long as they got a good actor.
See?
Let me believe the performance.
But everybody would say it's racist or whatever, and that's not right. That's not correct. Okay?
Well,
if you're going to gender swap or if you're going to race swap, it should be both ways.
Yeah.
Where you make black characters white and white characters black. And if you say no, then that's racist.
Well, look at what I was trying to think of is look at Lois Lane. Somebody come out and started bitching, moaning, complaining about the color of her hair. They said, "Oh, she's got the woman in the movie doesn't have black hair," and I'm thinking, and that's relevant to her how?
Well, I'm looking at it like this: women change their hair color all the time.
Yeah.
What does that really got to do with that?
If you're going to say it's all right to switch one race for another in a certain movie, then you really don't have the right to complain.
Now, I've seen people rebel.
That's about Perry White.
Yeah.
I've seen Marvel writers and directors rebel now because they're mad that people are not accepting it. Right away, they go to throw anybody under the bus that does not approve Zendaya as Mary Jane. Okay, and I'm going to say this now. Okay, I value everybody's opinions, right? But the day comes when people twist my opinions, trying to make it that I am racist or other things because I do not like somebody as a character as that's wrong. Marvel basically bit their mouth off to feed their face because what they did is that whole thing with the Hydra cap, and the fans against them. You remember how vicious these Marvel writers were against the fans? And even Dan Slott was saying talking crap and you know, the guy, Spencer guy that did the storyline. Well, guess what? If you look now at the July sales for the comics, what you do and what you say to bash your own fan base backfires in your face.
Oh yeah, because they won't buy your books. They won't buy your books.
Guess what? Captain America had dropped significantly.
After they made the whole thing, oh no, it's not a mind control thing. It's not of this, and not of that. And then you find out later on that, oh yeah, it's Red Skull using a
right. But that comic dropped.
Yeah.
Below 50. Below that. The She-Thor is like 89th place or 100th place. We're going to do a whole cast on this because Marvel even came out to antagonize, saying that, you know, despite people reporting otherwise, which I don't know what they're talking about the female characters taking over the male characters or whatever. 40% of our fan base is women, and our sales are just fine. Now, that's a lie because in my book, just fine isn't good or great. It's passable. So your sales are shit, and you're lying to your fans, and you're lying to everybody because nobody wants to see the Hulk the way he is. Nobody wants to see Thor the way he is. Well, she is. They're lying to her teeth. Dan Slott dropped down to 25th place with the comic. I don't think it was because of how good he was with the comic. I think it was because he was opening his mouth, bashing people too much. And again, I come from retail. So the customer is always right, or in the sense that you don't go after your fans.
No, you don't.
Make a comic saying that screw all our Republican fans, we're Democratic as Marvel Comics. When the Ghostbusters did that, what did Sony do? Sony pulled that shit from Twitter, and they says, no, the Ghostbusters are not supporting Hillary. They're not Democratic. It's a fictional movie with fictional characters. Okay? At the end of the day, it's a marketing business. Okay? You cannot destroy your fan base. You cannot.
Once you start doing that, you've pretty much written your own epitaph.
Because what's going to happen is
some of them might not come back.
And James Gunn recently opened up his mouth talking smack about people not liking Zendaya. Well, guess what? You piss enough people off, they won't go to your movie. Because not because the movie's good or not, it's because they're annoyed. Because you shouldn't say that stuff. Everybody's opinions matter, okay? And just because I don't think that Mary Jane should be African American doesn't mean I'm racist. Stan Lee himself said, if you have a lack of African American heroes or characters, or
create them.
You create new characters. If this is a new universe with Spider-Man, he doesn't have to be with Gwen Stacy. He doesn't have to be Mary Jane.
No,
he could be a brand new effing character that he's dating.
Or it could be with Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat. Could be her.
They would have to pay this movie company or that movie company to have them.
And one person told me, they're like, oh, Matrix Lord, you just want him to go back to Mary Jane. I have news for you. Peter Parker has not been with Mary Jane, I think, like 10 years, if you're really paying attention.
Yeah, because Mary Jane dating Tony Stark, I think, ain't she?
But he hasn't been with her for 10 years because that whole deal with the devil thing, and he's been having how many girlfriends since Mary Jane? Because their marriage was erased, and they were never married in the first place. So guess what? I'm not the type, because I'm a Gwen Stacy person. I do like Mary Jane, yes. But no, I would rather her be why is it so difficult to be a writer and write a new character into a movie? Because it's lazy writing. They want to just make Mary Jane, but they don't care about the fan base. They don't effing care.
See, that's why I had an issue with the Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four, because if you're going to make a movie based on a superhero movie, stay with the source material.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not from paper to live action. Stay with the source material.
And the ultimate example is James doesn't approve of it, and he's African American. So there's a side of the story right there.
What they could have done with that movie to this day, I still think they could have had him as they could have had it a mixed marriage, and it would have worked out just fine to explain. But they just wrote that, they just glossed over the fact that she's adopted, to explain why it's the way it is.
That guy was saying when said, "Oh, Sue is black too, right?" He's like, "Absolutely not. She's not black. She's white. What the hell are you talking about? You mean to tell me you are racist because you're saying that she can't be black, but then Human Torch can be black? What are you talking about? That's ridiculous."
What got me about this whole movie? They're supposed to be blood-related brother and sister. You know, Sue Storm, Johnny Storm, blood-related brother and sister. Well, not no adoptive crap. I mean, where they got that from? It made Dr. Doom a hacker. I mean, what the hell, really?
Yeah, and the guy that's like a father to him, he kills.
Exactly. Like,
I don't think you would do that unless you're on drugs. Just to let you know. So, all right, guys, we have 5 minutes left. In closing, we had 2 big points in here. Don't believe media biasness, and your opinion matters. If you don't think that, you know, if you're from the old school ways that Mary Jane is white and Peter Parker's white and Miles Morales is black and whatever, you know, Black Panther's black, then that's fine for you. There's nothing wrong with you stating your opinion, and nobody should silence your opinion, not even Marvel Comics. So when you have these big, I see it as bullying because they're higher up to do something about it, like the Marvel bigwigs and the directors. But when they start slamming the fans that disagree, then you slam back. You slam back. You don't go see their movie.
Folks, if they start slamming, use this. Use the old money. Holding back your money.
You don't want that to happen. You don't see it.
Exactly.
You make a stink. Just like the comics dropped, skyrocketed down, like Captain America. They did not accept behind your back. You do that. You make sure your voice is heard. And you
don't see DC doing nothing like it now, do you?
And you know what? If I was in Marvel right now, I would make African-American characters. I would make Chinese characters. In fact, they would be the freaking best characters ever because they would be original. They wouldn't be tied to these superheroes. They'd be brand new because I would use my effing brain instead of being a lazy writer and just make them into Captain America or Iron Man or whatever. I would do crazy stuff. And I wouldn't care if Marvel had the rights to it or whatever. I would pump that out there. There would be more female characters. There would be more Chinese characters, more Japanese characters, South Korean, everybody, Irish, everything. And you know what? It would be all original.
Oh yeah, like they did. They tried that with I think what Image comic, not Image or
Image and Top Cow and all that.
Yeah. You could count the African American heroes on like one hand, probably from Marvel, or 2 hands, whatever.
Yeah,
Icon.
And it's hard.
In Black Panther.
I know Black Panther. I know Night Thrasher. I know Falcon, which
Luke Cage.
Marvel. Yeah, Luke Cage. Right. So it's horrible. They need to make more.
They did have Giant Man.
They had a Giant Man. They had Rage. New Warriors. They had a couple of new Warriors. A couple of new Warriors was African American.
War Machine. So.
Yeah. So, and the only Chinese, was it Chinese, was it? Or Japanese? Was Sunfire?
Yeah.
Silver Samurai.
Yeah.
And Silver Samurai. But there wasn't really that many. And Jubilee, maybe? Was Jubilee?
Yeah.
Or was she not Chinese? Yeah.
Oh, what about Psylocke?
Well, she was British.
She was British, and then they switched her body.
Well, that was weird. It was there was
do a ninja or something like that.
And then she was Japanese. Yeah, right. So, but again, guys, there's nothing. Don't let anybody hinder your voice, and it's not hate speech. You just don't think that Mary Jane should be African American, and there's nothing against the actress. I think she's cool.
I'm just going from my comic book history. I have, I
challenge, like when James Gunn said that, all right, well then you know what? If that's the way it is, then make, Storm white.
Yeah.
If he would have never made an issue about it, people wouldn't really care about it.
Right. Do it tomorrow. Make her white. See what happens. Then. If you want to be not racist and you're saying that that's fine, then make black characters white and then you see what happens.
Yeah.
You see what happens.
Yep. Well, look what they did to Nick Fury. Made him black.
Yeah, but you know why, though? They did because all the actors that played him sucked.
Yeah, that's true.
They had a bad representation of it. And then what do they do in Marvel as a cop-out? Oh, yeah, Nick Fury slept around, so this is one of his kids. That's what they did flat out in the comic book.
Yeah, Nick Fury Jr.
Yeah, flat out. Because he's older now anyway, so you don't need to be Nick Fury.
Exactly.
So they could have the new generation. So, all right, guys, I'm going to get ready to go to the movies to see Bad Moms. So, you guys have a great day.
Oh, I seen the trailer for that dang that sausage movie. Oh my god!
Yeah, we were gonna go see that, but then we changed our mind. So
that looks crazy.
I know. All right, guys, take care. Bye for now.
Ciao.
Have a good